all Bisharp has to do is not get a crit. What on earth just happened? That was way too close. I attempted an Ultra Sun Hardcore Nuzlocke using water Pokemon only. Although there are loads of water encounters, this run will not be a sweep as I will face some tough battles such as the Grass and Electric Island trials. As usual, the rules will be listed in the description down below. Over 95% of you aren't subscribed. It only takes a second but really helps me out. Thanks so much guys, let's get into the video. As usual, I run into this Alolan Linoon, after which I'm tasked with a tough choice of picking a starter. I of course go for Poplio and get this run started. I name him Salmon, whose docile nature I'm fine with. Can you guys guess the name theme of this video? I run onto this bridge to try and save Nebby on my way to school, but he blows it up. I wasn't excited for history anyways. I then stumble upon these space soldiers, after which I find my very first encounter, a Slowpoke. I catch him and name him Tuna, whose quirky nature is once again fine. This run, however, I actually do stand a chance against Teacher Emily. I completely lower Rowlet's attack with Salmon, after which I switch into Tuna. Even a super effective Leafage barely hurts me, and so I actually score the win. What a nice change. Now, before we go any further into this challenge, it's time to get some Darkrai drip. I go for the all black outfit with a hint of red in the shoes. I bet you've never seen a Pokemon trainer so styled out. How are these Team Skullgrounds still not getting better at dancing? To be fair, I wouldn't do any better either, so I'll leave it at that. After some running around in Howley City, I find my next encounter in the form of a Wingull. I catch her and call her Cod, whose naive nature is pretty amazing. I give this Tauros a little poke on the nose, and then make my way to the very first island trial. After making my way through Verdant's Cavern, I face my first totem Pokemon, Gumshoos. I lead with Salmon here, whose main goal is to take out Yungoos and lower Gumshoos' attack as much as possible. Yungoos goes down to 2 Aqua Jets, after which I keep setting up with Baby Doll Eyes. I do this till Salmon can't handle it any longer, and then switch out to Tuna. Gumshoos does barely any damage here, so we should be fine. I go for a yawn to start off and then set up with Curse. After this tackle montage ends, I finally take down our first island trial. Well done team. I then take on the very first island kahuna, Hala. I lead with Salmon against matchup and go with Disarming Voice, which ends up being a crit. I didn't realize how much damage Revenge would do, so that crit was really necessary. This is great as the next hit then takes out matchup. Now that Makuhita is up next, I know he'll go for a fake out, so I safely switch into Tuna. I go for a yawn to start off and then go for a water gun. Now that he's asleep, I switch into Cud to do some heavy lifting here. I go for a supersonic but I miss. I try again but I miss again. Makuhita even gets a crit here, so I don't want to take any more risk, so I go for the takedown with wing attack. After Hala heals up a couple of times, there's no chance for Makuhita. Last up is his Crabrawler. I switch out here in fear of a Z move, but turns out he went for Leer instead. On the very next turn though, he does hit his Z move, which Tuna tanks like a champ. Now that Crabrawler is sleeping, I switch into Cud to finish this battle off. It does take quite a few hits, but it does eventually go down, and there goes the very first kahuna. As you guys already know, I love Mantine surfing a lot, but there is one thing I love more than that, which is this video's sponsor, Surfshark. Surfshark is an extremely easy to use VPN which provides pretty much everything you'll ever need when browsing the internet. It's common knowledge in 2021 that you should be using a VPN, so why wait any longer? Surfshark secures and protects all your data via encryption and keeps your online actions private. They also provide state-of-the-art technology such as Surfshark Search, which not only provides you with an ad blocker, but allows you to search in complete privacy without trackers following your every move. Have you run out of shows to watch on Netflix? No worries, just connect to a different location and enjoy shows from all around the world, such as from the US and Japan. You'd think a product this advanced would cost you a fortune, but no. Hit the surfshark.deal/DarkraiTV and enter the promo code DarkraiTV when checking out, and you'll receive a discount of 83%, meaning you'll only be paying just over $2 per month, and you'll get 3 months for free. One subscription will run Surfshark on an unlimited amount of devices at the same time, so there is literally no reason to not get it. Alright, let's get back to the video. Now that I've made my way to Akala Island, my first order of business is to catch my next encounter, an Eevee. I name him Trout, whose nature is gentle. With the new addition to the team, I take on the next island trial. Let's see what I can do against Totem Araquanid. Before this though, I make sure to evolve Cod into a Pelipper to give us the advantage here. I of course lead with Cod due to her typing advantage. Cod's evolved form is great for this battle as just a couple of wing attacks is enough to annihilate Araquanid. Masquerain goes down quickly too, and just like that we take the win. As a reward for the victory, I catch myself a Magikarp here. I call him Perch and his lonely nature is amazing. He's gonna be an absolute powerhouse. There's no time to waste though, so we head right back to the next island trial where I take on Totem Marowak. He goes for a detect, which is great as this lets me set up a rain dance. I go for a super effective hit against Marowak, and due to the boost of rain dance there is no way that doesn't kill. Salazzle can try all at once too, but if Marowak doesn't stand a chance then neither does she. Cod swiftly takes her out and scores us the win. Great job team. As another victory award, I go for a fishing trip where I manage to find a Wishy-Washy. I catch him and name him Pike, whose brave nature is perfect. Perch evolved into a Gyarados right after, and our team is beginning to look unstoppable. After this, I get dragged into Sophocles' fever dream, which I leave as soon as I can. I wonder what all of that was about. I finally managed to find a water stone, which I give to Eevee, who turns into an absolute beast in the form of Vaporeon. I then head to the lush jungle where I take on Mallow's trial. This abnormally large Lurantis interrupts our picnic, so I gotta teach it a lesson. I lead with Tuna here with the sole purpose of disabling her Solar Blade. I then switch into Perch to lower her attack. This works out insanely well as I manage to pull off a bunch of Leers, after which I switch out into Cud to finish this off. Lurantis barely survives a wing attack, but it doesn't do too much as one more quick attack is enough to end this battle off. And just like that, we only have the Island Kahuna left to go. Let's see what we can do. I run into Lillie, who's for some reason pretending to be me. I think she needs to get that checked out. I make my way through the Diglett tunnel to escape Lillie and stumble upon Looker. He better look just as cool in the new games. I think it's time to cop some more Darkrai drip. I cop the Black Stompers, and with them on, there's no way I can lose to Olivia. Here we go. She leads with Anorith, so I send out Trout. One hit is easily enough to score the win here. I go for Aurora Beam against the Leap, which ends up being insanely powerful as it's a crit. Due to this, I can afford to stay in battle and finish her off too. I don't want to take any risks here, so I switch out to Pike straight away. I go for a Brine, which is nearly enough to finish off this battle. I go for yet another Brine, but he makes Pike flinch, and so I have to switch out. I send out Salmon next and go for the finisher here, but Lycanroc once again makes me flinch. This is not looking good. I finally do send out Perch though, who eventually does take down Lycanroc. GG Olivia. I take a luxury cruise to the Aether Paradise, where I run into this weird looking creature. No, not Luzamine, that weird jellyfish. Yeah, no way I'm fighting that.
Bye-bye.
I realize I need some sort of protection against electricity, so I find myself a wild Barboach. I name her Catfish, who evolves into a Wishcash right away. Salmon also evolves here, and our team is looking insanely good. With these new additions to the team, I quickly sweep through How and find a lowland oak just standing around in the corner of a library. What a weird dude. I meet up with Kukui, and I take the Executor Express to the top of Mount Hokulani, where I take on my next island trial. I lead with Catfish due to her typing, and accidentally go for a Mud Sport. I guess it's fine as Togedemaru protected anyways. After Togedemaru finally lands, I hit an Earthquake which does less damage than I expected. What a tanky boy. I hit an Aqua Tail on Skarmory, and then another Earthquake on Togedemaru. It's looking good here, so let's keep it up. One more Earthquake takes down Togedemaru, and after a while, Skarmory goes down too. My team is doing insane so far, so let's keep on going. I then take on my least favorite enemy in Pokemon history, Guzma. I do think I finally figured him out though. As Vaporeon has Water Absorb, Galvanizopod shouldn't be able to deal any damage as long as I set up, so that's what I do. I stall out Galvanizopod's moves here as he's forced to heal me up, and I then make him switch out after a couple of Aurora Beams. Masquerain goes down to a couple hits, and as Galvanizopod's PP is completely stalled out, this battle ends pretty quickly. Nice job, Trout. I make my way to the other house and spot some weird figure with purple fur. He looks like he's vibing though, so I won't bother him. I'm totally not scared. I make my way to Acerola's island trial and take on Totem Mimikyu. This trial is usually the hardest for me in Nuzlocke, but I feel like I came well prepared this time. I go with Trout and start off by using Haste to get rid of Mimikyu's attack boost. I then go for a Muddy Water to try and hit both enemies, although I do miss against Mimikyu. I go for yet another shot here, and this time I hit both targets. This takes down Banette and gets rid of Mimikyu's disguise. I now safely switch into Salmon to finish this battle off. I go for Sparkling Area, which actually does massive damage against Mimikyu. The next hit easily takes it down and nearly KOs Jellicent too. For safety's sake, I switch out into Pike and finish this battle off. I run into Uncle Grimsley, who hands me a Sharpedo Pager. With this in handy, I make my way to Po Town, where I take on Guzma yet again. Now that I feel like I've mastered him, there's really no point in me showing the whole battle, but as you can guess, it was an absolute sweep. It's time to finish this island off with a final battle against Nanu. Salmon is perfect for this fight, so I lead with him. After flinching from a fake out, I go for a Moonblast, which ends up nearly being a one-hit KO. Not bad at all. Krokorok's up next, and he manages to confuse Salmon, although it doesn't do too much as he goes down to a single hit too. Even Nanu's ace, Persian, stands no chance here. Moonblast is yet again a one hit, and there goes the second to last island kahuna. He teaches me a Z move and then gives me such a sincere congratulations. What a nice guy. I make my way to the Aether Paradise for one last time and aim to take down Luzumine. Let's see how it goes. I have to face Guzma for the last time, and yeah, it's still just as easy. I get a one hit, and another one, that's another one hit KO, and there goes Guzma. How did I ever struggle against him? But now, it's time for Luzumine. I see that she's frozen a Pyukumuku to keep as a trophy, and I know I have to stop her. I mean, that could have been my next encounter. Here we go. I lead with Perch here, and I decide to set up with Dragon Dance. I go for it twice, and then hit Clefable with an Aqua Tail, which takes her out in a single hit. Lopunny's up next, so I go for another Aqua Tail, which should easily finish her off in one hit. Lilligant is actually the reason I chose to set up, so I'm so relieved after she goes down to an Ice Fang. Now that Beware is up next, I switch into Salmon due to her typing and get off a deadly Moonblast. I thought you were supposed to be a challenge, Luzumine. I hit Milotic with a Moonblast, which does some good damage. I go for an Encore next, and I then switch into Pike to easily tank some Hydro Pumps. I go for Brine, which doesn't hurt Milotic too much, so I decide to switch out into Trout. I know Milotic will be tough, so I set up with Work Up. I then go for a couple of Aurora Beams, and it's more than enough to take out Milotic and end the battle against Luzumine. She then falls into an Ultra Wormhole, and I never hear of her again. I wish. I hop on the boat with my good pals and make my way to Pony Island. It's time to bring Tuna back into the team and sub out Cod. I'm glad to have you back, soldier. After she evolves, I grab the Sunflute and make my way to the next island trial. Salmon's typing is perfect for this battle, so I choose to lead with her. Here we come, Kamuo. I start off with a Moonblast, and if it wasn't for his Roselli Berry, he'd be a gunner. I go for it one more time, and there he goes. I can't believe how much easier this was than before. We're doing insanely well, guys, let's keep it up. I play some Nintendo Mii music on the flute and summon Solgaleo. He must have been petrified by the music or something, cause he gets taken out by Necrozma right away. I mean, I guess Necrozma didn't really enjoy the music either, as he takes me on right here. Let's see what I can do. Neither of us are honestly that strong against each other, so it just ends up being a stall fest. He does eventually go down though. I was originally gonna try and beat Necrozma without toxic stalling, but after some damage calculations, it turns out he literally one-shots all of my teammates. For this reason, I catch a sacrificial Whalmer. Or so I thought. His cute smile persuaded me to keep him, so let's just see what ends up happening. His name is Whales, whose nature is relaxed. He quickly turns into a Wailord, and together, we head into the depths of space-time to take on the ultimate challenge, Ultra Necrozma. Here we go. I lead with Trout, who's come prepared with a Focus Sash. I go for a Haze here to get rid of Necrozma's stat boosts, and it turns out I don't even need the Focus Sash. That is super nice. I switch into Pike next, and unfortunately, he gets crit and goes down to a single hit. I'm so sorry, Pike, but thank you for everything. I send out Whales next to safely tank a hit, or so I thought. He barely survives this, but at least he hits the Toxic. I then protect Stall as usual, and you can probably see how this battle's gonna go. Or not. I send out Salmon and take out Necrozma with a Moonblast. What an epic ending, am I right? Mina's battle wasn't that tough, but here's how it went. I set up with Acid Armor on Trout to max out his defense, and then went for a rest to heal up. Mawile then got taken out in a couple of hits. Grumble doesn't do too much here either, as he gets taken out in a couple of hits too. Rebombi could be fairly scary here, so after nearly finishing her off with Scald, I switch into Salmon to finish her off. And now for the real challenge, Totem Rebombi. I can't stress how useful Haze has been throughout this run. Rebombi leads with a Quiver Dance, but just one Haze literally removed all of her 13 status increases. How is that even legal? I then switch out into Salmon to hit her hard. I go with Sparkling Area, which ends up doing some insane damage due to Rain Dance's water boost. The next one easily finishes off Rebombi, and I gotta say, I have no idea how I would have done this without Haze. That move is broken for Totem Pokemon. And now, with everything said and done, it's time to take on Hapu, the final kahuna. Salmon is literally perfect for this, so I lead with her. Golurk somehow manages to tank the first Sparkling Area, but goes down soon after. Mudsdale's just horsing around here, so he gets easily one hit. Flygon could have been tough for a water type, but Moonblast works perfectly here as it takes Flygon out in one hit. And last but not least is Gastrodon. Moonblast does some great damage, but Gastrodon is really not having it. She keeps recovering and wasting time here, and eventually her time comes too. It was fun battling you, Hapu, but now comes the real challenge. Let's go take on the Elite Four. On the way there, I realized Nurse Joy tells us she hopes to see you again. Is it just me, or does that sound kinda messed up? It's like she wants us to fail. I get a bit tired, so my champ carries me through the victory road. Me and Salmon share one last moment together before it's finally time to take on the Pokemon League. Here we go. I make my way inside, where I choose to start with Kahili. It's Tuna's time to shine here. He tanks a Brave Bird pretty well, and then starts setting up with Iron Defense. Slakoff lets Tuna heal up back to full health, and after he's fully set up, it's time for some Ice Beams. Bye bye Braviary. Holucha comes out next, and that is perfect. It lets Tuna fully heal up and then hits a super effective Psychic. She switches out into her Mandibuzz, whose super effective typing does nothing here. Tuna, you're actually a beast. Holucha lets us heal up again, and there he goes. Toucanon tried to go for a sneaky Screech, but that ends up missing. He gets angry and goes for his Z move, which didn't even scratch Tuna. And there he goes too. Oricorio does have a special move, so I'll have to switch out here. I send out Salmon to finish her off, but he flinches. I guess it's Perch's time to shine. But even Perch flinches too. What even are the odds? We should be fine though, as long as Perch doesn't hit himself in confusion. No way! Okay fine, I'll switch out one last time. Trout finally hits the Scald and finishes this battle off, but that was way too close. Hopefully Olivia treats us better. Her team is full of rock types, so this should be doable. She leads with Armaldo, so I go with Trout. Scald does massive damage and manages to knock him out in one hit. Cradilly's typing is pretty tough, but I decide to go for a Scald anyways. It actually ends up burning her, so I can keep on going for it. I have no idea what Cradilly is doing here, as she could be using Energy Ball, but hey, I'm fine with that. Now that Gigalith's out, it's time for Tuna to go and have some fun. I set up fully with Iron Defense, and now it's go time. Slakoff is out of PP, so I go for a Psychic. After way too much stalling, I go for the finisher with Psychic, but she sends out Probopass. I'm pretty much out of PP here, so I have no choice but to send out Salmon. Sparkling Area is insanely strong and it nearly one-hits Probopass. I then send out Perch just in case. I go for an Aqua Tail, which is an easy one-hit. Lycanroc Z move is way too scary for Perch, so I switch into Tuna, who handles it like a champ. It's now time for Catfish to shine. Earthquake does decent damage, so I just keep rolling with it. And there he goes. Gigalith is also done for here, so just like that, we take down Olivia. Not bad at all, team. Now it's time for Acerola. This is gonna be interesting. I send out Perch first, and I start setting up with Dragon Dance. Banette finally goes for a Screech, so I can't risk it anymore, and I have to take him out. Frostlass is up next, but she stands no chance against the buffed up Crunch. And surprisingly, neither can Delmise. Even Palossand falls to just one hit. Drifblim goes down quickly, and there goes the entire battle. That was amazing, team. And now, for the Elite Four member I've been most scared of, Molayne. For this one, Tuna has to set up all his stats to just stand a chance. Luckily, Klefki only has one damaging move, so Tuna is pretty free to fully set up Calm Mind here. And now that her physical defense is also insanely high, it's time to try this out. Klefki luckily goes down to a single hit. Magnezone is insanely scary with its Thunderbolt, and due to paralysis, this is gonna be really risky. And for this reason, I go for Rest right away to cure the paralysis, and then start hammering it down. It actually gets burned too, and goes down right away. That feels good. This battle's going amazing so far. All Bisharp has to do is not get a crit. What on earth just happened? That was way too close. He goes down too, but that was not fun. Dugtrio shouldn't be able to do too much, so I go for Rest. When Tuna wakes up, it's pretty much over for him, as Flamethrower quickly finishes him off. Metagross goes down to one hit too, which is insanely relieving. That was way too close. Great job, team. We managed to make it through the Elite Four with no losses. Let's see what Hao's able to do though. Here comes the championship battle. It's all or nothing. Let's do it. Hao leads with Raichu, so Catfish is the perfect choice for this battle. One Earthquake is more than enough to take it out. He then sends out Leafeon, who ends up taking out Wishcash. I'm sorry you had to go like that, but you did amazing. I then send out Perch to intimidate Leafeon. I go for a Crunch because even though it might do less damage than Ice Fang, I want to try and lower Leafeon's defense. After a couple of hits, it actually works, and I go for the finisher here, but Hao sends out Carbaminoble. Well played. I go for the same strat here as I try and lower his defense, but he gets a crit and Perch goes down right away. You did amazing, soldier, but now it's Trout's time to shine. I go for Acid Armor and keep setting up till Trout's defense is fully maxed out. I then go for a Rest to heal up, and I wake up right away with a Chesto Berry. A couple of Scalds then finishes Carbaminoble off. Next up is Hao's Leafeon, who's pretty much done for. He does heal up, but goes down to a single Ice Beam right after. Tauros could be a bit tougher here, but let's see what I can do. Scald still does massive damage. I go for rest to heal up one last time. Once Trout wakes up, it's over for Tauros. Incineroar's up next, so I go for Scald. He tanks it and somehow does insane damage with Darkest Lariat. Trout does finish him off, but not with any spare health. I try for an Ice Beam here, but fall instantly. You still did amazing, Trout. Well played. It's now Tuna's time to shine. Noivern has Dark Pulse, but Tuna is just too much of a champ, and after he goes for an Ice Beam, it's over. We beat the game and I couldn't feel any better about it. Make sure to leave a comment down below on what you want to see next, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.